Welcome into Vegas, where it's the final match of a 4-game home stretch to begin the season for the Vegas Thrill. It's a cross-country matchup as the Orlando Valkyries come to Lee's Family Forum. Tonight's match brought to you by the Southern Nevada Toyota dealers and by Clark County Credit Union. And alongside Victoria Dennis, AJ Cannell with you. So glad to have you with us. And how about this, Vic? 2 reverse sweeps for the Thrill in their first 3 matches of the season.
If you think the cat is in the bag being up 2-0 against the Thrill, you better think again. Back-to-back reverse sweeps and back-to-back weekends, and they had 4 athletes come in off the bench and earn double-doubles. 2 of those athletes Friday night were Hannah and Loberg. Mayfield also earning a double-double to her name, the veteran, paving the way, but absolutely time to shine. It was Loberg off the bench showing her veteran status out of Wisconsin. She has the range going high line, sharp cross court, a big spark plug for the Thrill, and help earn that reverse sweep.
It's just a big challenge today for the Thrill because they're coming off that victory over Omaha, one of the top teams in theory in this league, and Orlando picked number 2 in the PVF preseason poll despite a last place finish last season, and Adora Anai is a big reason why.
Anai is one of the 6 veterans with 3 or more years experience. Anai is calm, cool, and collected, specifically in pressure situations. She has the volley IQ, the defensive range, and her offense. Watch out.
Let's take a look now at our starting lineups, brought to you by Clark County Credit Union. For Orlando, their veteran setter out of Thailand, Shampoo, is injured. Known as Shampoo, her name, Hornpud Goodpard, she is out. So Hannah Pukas comes in, the former top pick for the Thrill last year. That's notable for them. Also, Natalie Foster's been battling for one of those middle blocker spots. She's in the starting lineup, playing really well to begin her rookie campaign for Orlando. And for the Thrill, how about this? They're going with the same starters they went with last match, even though all of their bench players came in and played so well. Players like Maddox, Willow Johnson are back in there for the Thrill to start tonight's match. Tonight's player to watch is brought to you by your Southern Nevada Toyota dealers. Tegan DeFalco, she has gotten the opening nod at libero in all of their matches so far. Now the 4th straight. She got pulled in one of them for Mary Schroll, but for the most part this year it has been DeFalco so far, and she's played very, very well. Had 18 digs against Omaha, and their other win against Grand Rapids had 22 digs, so 40 total digs in the 2 wins for DeFalco. Vegas Thrill head coach is Ramon Hernandez Cruz, in his first year taking over for Fran Flory, who moves into a non-volleyball role for the most part this year for Vegas. Love to see catch up with Fran today, doing great work in a different capacity for the Thrill. And Amy Pauley is in her 2nd year, the former USC assistant, among many other things, for the Orlando Valkyries. Feels very confident about her roster this year. Just about set to go from Henderson, Nevada and Lee's Family Forum in what will be the 5th ever matchup, the first of the season, between Vegas and Orlando. Last year, Orlando won the series 3-1, but Vegas's lone win came in a 5-set victory here on May 1st, and that knocked Orlando out of the playoff race at the time. And starting it out behind the service line is the former number 3 overall pick of the Thrill, Hannah Pukas, out of Oregon. Adora Anai gets an early swing for the Valkyries. Now it's Maddox out of the back row, and Ramon Hernandez Cruz wanted to see his starters come in and play better. They don't want to have to go to the bench the same way they did last time around.
Maddox utilizing that big attack in the back row, specifically in transition, is how the Thrill is going to earn points against Orlando.
Abercrombie for the point. Yeah, Vegas, they love, of course, coming back and winning in those reverse sweeps, but their key to the match tonight was get off to a better start.
And we can expect that in their first ball side out. They have Willow Johnson on the right side. She's a big lefty. It's going to be right side against right side with Abercrombie for Orlando.
Orlando has the ability to be a very aggressive serving team. 1 ace per set so far in the limited span of the season. Only 3 matches in the books for each of these teams. Johnson was pulled early on last time out. Her serve nets an overpass for Oblad.
Vegas wants to make sure their ace-to-air ratio is higher. One of their goals is aggressive serving and serving with purpose. That's exactly what Willow Johnson did there.
Another back row attack for Hannah Maddox.
Vegas is earning points on their side. They're not waiting for Orlando to make plays or feel out what their vibe is. They're going back and earning points.
There was a block touch there, so it doesn't matter if that was in or out, although Bolt 6 is ready to tell us. Block touch there, and that one is down for Abercrombie.
Brittany Abercrombie, the reigning champion of Athletes Unlimited, on the right side. Orlando needed a right side to their roster. Coach Amy shared with us, and they found one with Abercrombie.
Tipped Oblad, diving play. On the slide, despite the efforts by the middle blocker, Foster, defensively in there as the server. Berkeley Oblad, her counterpart, comes up with a kill.
Oblad is dynamic off of 1 foot. Childress loves to spread her offense when she's in the front row, utilizing that one-on-one opportunity for the hometown hero, Oblad.
Something Vegas did extremely well as the night went along against Omaha. Block touches. Abercrombie. Childress, oh, that's a big swing by Mayfield.
3 kills coming out of the big attack in middle back. It's Mayfield step closing to this ball. Watch as she broad jumps into the apex of this volleyball, perfectly attacking that 5-6 seam. Great look there from our crew.
A near kill for Courtney Schwann, but Vegas scrambles around it. And Brittany Abercrombie delivers the side out for Orlando. Is there something to the fact that Kaz Brown is in there, the reigning PVF middle blocker of the year? Is Vegas trying to stress Orlando's block out with all these back row attacks early on?
I would say so, and right now it looks like a pretty balanced offense.
Little tight on the pass, and it's thrown down by Kaz Brown.
Brown does a great job of recognizing in the air where the set is. Even when her feet leave the ground and she's making her block move, she has the ability to hang half a beat longer, see the set, and throw that ball down.
Push to Maddox, and she turns that down the line, but is off the sideline there, so Orlando within 1.
I like that aggressive swing from Maddox. She had that high line open. I would expect her to do it again.
Right back to her, right back to her face on that double block from Pukas and Brown.
Pukas does a really good job of setting up the block. Watch as Pukas lines up in front of her attacker, allowing Brown to close that block.
And that would be Pukas against her former team. A kill off the block for Oblad. Now, we were told coming in it's a minor calf injury for Pornpun Goodpard out of Thailand, a big addition in the offseason, one of the best setters in the world for Orlando. But Hannah Pukas came in to compete for an opportunity this year, understanding, according to Amy Pauley, that she was going to get chances no matter what. Because of the fact that Goodpard is a smaller setter, at the very least, they were planning to run a dub sub a lot with Pukas, but now with Goodpard out, Pukas gets her first career PVF start against the team that drafted her in the first round last year as Van Buskirk puts it away.
Pukas stands at 5'11". She's able to get up and over the net as a front row blocker, front row setter blocking these volleyballs.
Little indecision there on the serve receive. Murphy got there eventually. And I gets a swing on it, but Van Buskirk was ready. Lane Van Buskirk had 8 blocks and 6 more positive touches in the reverse sweep victory over Omaha 2 nights ago. It's a timeout taken by Orlando, and this is the better start that Ramon Hernandez Cruz was looking for. Welcome back to Vegas, and the best way to enjoy a Vegas thrill match is in the party zone pictured right there at Lee's Family Forum. You can rent it out today by calling 725-251-5413. Join the ride. Hannah Maddox and the Vegas Thrill have a 10-6 first set lead. Maddox has 3 early kills. Courtney Schwann, 4-4 swing as Schwann in her second year in the PVF out of the University of Washington.
Even though the pass was tight, Pukas can jump set this ball standing at 5'11" to create that apex for Schwann on the pin.
That's a player who Pukas starred at both Washington State and at Oregon, setting up a former Washington star as Hannah Maddox sides out with a big swing for the Thrill.
I knew Maddox wanted to feast on that high line. It doesn't get better than that. If you're able to find that high line corner in area 1, your stats will drastically improve, I may say.
One of the best slide attackers in the league is Kaz Brown. One-arm dig. This time she goes across the court and finds the result she was looking for.
Back-to-back swings for Brown, utilizing the seam in the block of the Thrill. Watch as she gets on her route. Maddox went a little bit too far. Brown feasting on that seam.
That is an intimidating swing from the reigning middle blocker of the year. Going to Maddox a lot early on. Earns a free ball for the Thrill. And Van Buskirk is pure.
Van Buskirk is up and available, especially on these free balls. Childress wants to get her middles going. Watch as Van Buskirk is up in the air with her arms drawn on setter ball contact.
That's long on Hannah Maddox's jump serve. One of the surprising things when you look back at the numbers against Omaha in Vegas's reverse sweep win was the fact that Omaha was still passing around 60% in system, which is an extremely high number, about as high as you will see. Willow Johnson, the swing right there. Yet Vegas was still able, despite not really serving how they wanted to win that match.
And it's plays like this, with their athletes being able to go high up and over the block. Willow Johnson placement, not power on that swing.
Rattles around the block. Now it's Mayfield. Tips it to the setter. Shoved to the middle by Brittany Abercrombie, who won Athletes Unlimited in the 2024 season.
Great vision by Abercrombie there on that tip. The campfire was well open as the defense of the Thrill were dug in for the hard-driven play.
First ever non-outside hitter to win Athletes Unlimited. Pukas jump sets Abercrombie. Aiming for that donut again. It's Childress to Mayfield.
Mayfield, the steady veteran on the pin, 9 years professionally under her belt, makes plays on plays. This in-system set to Mayfield as she attacks that seam in the block.
Serve at Anai, who's a very good passer typically, and Abercrombie. Thumbs down right there.
Abercrombie holding her hand high on that finish, guiding the ball to that sideline. Being a lefty on the right side is a great skill set to have. She's able to cut the ball off at a sharper angle.
Served by Foster's, coming off a 3-ace performance. Not there.
Talk about a tempo pass. Childress saying, okay, I'll go ahead and throw this one down. Nothing else you really could have done with that ball, but attack it on 2.
Oh, you can high five and compliment the Thrill early start in this one on 90s night. Tonight's match is brought to you by the Southern Nevada Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. The Thrill have taken the wheel so far and moved ahead 15-11. Sunday evening, longest homestand of the entire year for Vegas, and it's their 4 matches in a row to start the season. One of the things that Amy Pauley was telling us about is how they want to stress out Vegas. She said that, you look at the Atlanta match, Leah Edmond, last year's MVP, hit negative, and Vegas still lost. It's because she feels like their defense gets stressed out by right side hitters. And so Abercrombie, great player. They want to feature her a lot in this match. It's a set by Johnson, a pretty good one toward Maddox. Pukas back set, Brown. Maddox into the block. Brown tips it. Out.
Relentless defense from the Thrill, earning this point. That ball just out of bounds on the tip. Libero DeFalco read it like a book. She was there. Brown thought she had that up and over opportunity.
Berkeley Oblad has been quietly one of the better servers so far for Vegas, and that shoved down to the court, this time by Brown.
Brown finds success as well because she has an active opposite in Abercrombie. If you have an active opposite, it gives your middle blockers opportunity to score.
Slide swing for Lane Van Buskirk out of Pittsburgh. She has to be so proud of what her Pitt Panthers program has done since she has left, going to 4 straight Final Fours. Just haven't been able to quite get over the hump for Coach Fisher there, but turned into an amazing program. Big swing by Abercrombie behind the attack line. And it's blocked.
Stuff blocked by. What a play by Anai on the pin, lining up and diving back into the seam. Adora Anai, now 4 blocks on the season.
This time, Maddox uses the block.
One of the tools in her tool belt. Last year as a rookie, she was still developing her offense. We've seen it here in the second season. She's able to have a little bit more range, attacking high hands, being aggressive in the seam, and especially in the back row. She's been going back and forth between a topspin and a float serve for the past 2 weekends. She's trying to find her rhythm. She has 2 aces to her name, but I expect her to try and find that rhythm within her toss.
Back to rotation 1 here, a Pukas serve, and they exchange service errors.
With Pukas now back in the back row here in rotation 1. She has all 3 offensive threats at the net.
Now, the way this sport works is, by its nature, for those that are just kind of getting into it, you want to be really aggressive with your serve because the receiving team expects to win most points.
Right, I would say on average you want to win about 70% on a first ball side out, especially with a controlled first ball contact.
So even if you miss a few serves, it pays to be super aggressive and force more bad passing. Courtney Schwann ends up being dug by DeFalco, another former Washington Husky, but it is out for an Orlando point, and Anai will continue to serve. But first, Ramon Hernandez-Cruz calls timeout. First timeout of the first set for Vegas, and Anai is just such a well-rounded player for Orlando. She's a very stable passing presence in the back row for them. Getting off to a really hot start offensively last year. Her efficiency numbers were a little bit up and down at times. Not really the case this year, hitting 374, and you know she can go on a service run as well.
Anai's a gamer. She's played all over the world. She won Best Scorer in South Korea. She's won the Puerto Rican League. She's won the Ukrainian League and in Greece. So you name it, she's been there and she's probably won it. And she's been putting up numbers consistently for Orlando. They know how to lean on her. And my favorite part about Anai's game is that she just remains calm in high pressure situations. She sees the court very well. She reads the game at a high level. She doesn't care who's blocking or playing defense on the other side of the net. She just goes out, has her scouting report, and does her job.
Orlando found an interesting balance this year. Vegas, under their first-year head coach, brought back 4 returning players. More of a roster overhaul was necessary. For Orlando, 6 returning players, but some key newcomers as well. Coming off the Vegas timeout, this set has gotten closer. And a diving effort for Mayfield wasn't quite enough, and Orlando is within 1.
Another one of those block touches, but in the favor of Orlando. The Thrill trying to get as many of those as they can because it allows the back row to then have a controlled first ball contact.
3-0 Valkyries run, make it 4 as Abercrombie standing large.
Big crossover step for Abercrombie into that seam of the block. Watch as she closes with her hip around, finishing into the court.
So Vegas putting in Grace Loberg for Hannah Maddox. And no one home for Mayfield, looking for that key side out. They get it.
Great swing by Mayfield. Mayfield right now, kills percent 2.67 because she's able to take advantage of one-on-one opportunities and 0-on-1 opportunities.
Net call. Ball, I think, was going to go out anyway, but no matter what, I was looking at the net, and that was the call. Net violation on Orlando. So Vegas wins a couple of points in a row, gets one on its serve after that 4-0 Orlando run to tie it. Good pass, and it leads to a big swing by Foster out of SMU.
Great pass by Anai, giving her offense the opportunity to score there. With this in-system pass, all three options were available. Oblad read it, but the swing was too fast.
And Foster had a big serving day in their victory over San Diego. There's an ace from Foster.
Coach Pauly said Orlando wants to play calm in chaos, and they've remained calm being down the duration of this game, now tying it up with that ace.
And so Foster had 2 aces against San Diego, had 3 aces on the season coming in, which is such a young season that 3 ace total was tied for second in the entire PVF. Now gets her 4th of the year. So we saw Loberg come in for Hannah Maddox. And well, we were told coming in by Coach Hernandez-Cruz, they wanted to see their starters stick it out and be able to ride their starters to victory in this match. But one of the strengths of Vegas so far this year has been they bring in someone off the bench, and that player seems to find a way to produce.
And they have. They've produced in reverse sweeps. They've had 4 athletes come in off the bench. We saw this in the open, but Hannah and Loberg coming in off the bench in the reverse sweep against Omaha on Friday night, earning double-doubles to their name. I would expect maybe we'll see Hannah's card pull here, just maybe, but Mayfield remains the veteran, calm, cool, out on the court.
We're uncertain what the delay is here. I was looking around to see if there was any type of issue. I think there's a question going on with the R2 at the officials table. They're working through something. I don't know if there was a scoring discrepancy or dispute. So I just want to make sure you understand why we're all kind of standing around here. You can kind of see the right side of your screen. Suzanne Lowry, the R2s this year in the PVF are working at the table kind of for this reason. They can better troubleshoot an issue. There might be a dispute about what the score was. Looks like we are going to go with 21 apiece. And it's Foster coming off an ace, and the second Vegas timeout just hits the top of the net.
And the Valkyrie fans will say the delay was on purpose with her there at the service line, trying to ice her on the serve. Foster, though, a very strong rookie server, set program records at SMU in total aces, 64.
Pukas to Abercrombie. Block touch. So it's all tied at 22.
Good high hand-to-ball contact there by Abercrombie. Stands at 6'3", has that great reach.
Push to Grace Loberg coming in for Maddox in the rotation. Rattles around Oblad. That's too many touches. At a certain point, you're not blocking anymore, and she made multiple separate distinguishable contacts on the ball there, so it's a double contact on Berkeley Oblad.
A little bit of hot potato action.
That's the third right there. So you can have 2 of them because one's a block touch. 23-22. Here's Oblad looking to make up for it. Thunderous hit by Mayfield. Joust, and it's the setter, Pukas, against her former team.
It's always the setter that earns that joust. Setters being able to get the second contact and push it across the net, see it in slow motion, goes up, challenges, and has the last touch on the ball.
Now, the Thrill, there's really no reason not to challenge in a situation like this. Vegas is challenging a net fault. You get 2 challenges per set, and this set is almost over, and no one has used one yet. So if you want to basically use a de facto timeout here, that's a way to do it. And I kind of think that's what Vegas was doing right there. I mean, if you see a net violation, great. I think that was just a smart play by Coach Hernandez-Cruz to use an extra timeout.
I agree.
On set point, the Thrill had the early lead in this set. Great saving play by Allison Mayfield. Pukas with a nice ball on that set to Schwan. Hannah Pukas serving another one up for a hitter on a plate. And Orlando wins the first set 25-22 with a late surge after Vegas controlled early on. It was a 19-15 Thrill lead in the first set, but Vegas has still yet to win a first set this season. Welcome back, 25-22 in the first set, Orlando. It really looked like that was the Thrill set to win, and it didn't happen for them. Stats are brought to you by the Nevada Army National Guard, proud supporters of the Vegas Thrill. In that first set, Orlando, with the late push, had the offense going the entire time. 382. Orlando finished in terms of hitting percentage, a 4-1 block advantage for the Valkyries, and both teams were passing around 60%. That part of the match was even. It was a crisp volleyball set there in the first, but just even more highly functioning on the Orlando side.
Orlando needs 7 for 10, batting 700 in set number 1. That allows the rest of the offense to open up. It allows middles to have one-on-one opportunities. Even when their right front rotates to the back row, she's still an offensive threat.
Hannah Maddox got taken out in serve receive pretty late in the first set. She's going to start out the second set back in there, and she will be serving. Maddox did lead the thrill with 5 first set kills. Alicia Childress to Allison Mayfield. Smacked down by Adora Anai.
Anai off the net, leaning back there on that swing, was able to find success by keeping her hand high. She stepped close inside and went with the momentum of the set.
Last year, Anai was 3rd in the entire league in aces per set. So Vegas will take that service error there, an important player to side out against. It's Foster, who began her college career. Wichita State, played 4 years there. Was a 4-time all-conference performer during her college days. Played her final year at SMU, which of course had a great season this past year in NCAA volleyball. Johnson the dig. Right back to Maddox. Couple of swings behind the 10-foot line during that point.
Great tempo set on the big. Maddox being able to step close. Watch as she is loaded in the air as she jumps, going against the triple block, finding the outside.
What are the keys to attacking a triple block like that?
Go high hands, try and paint the sidelines.
She chose the latter. Berkeley Oblad, who played at Coronado High School. She's from right here in Henderson, Nevada, the home of the Vegas Thrill and Lee's Family Forum.
That's where they were able to have their serve and pass practice yesterday in her old stomping grounds of Coronado High School.
So they bring in Abercrombie in the offseason after she played in Athletes Unlimited. She had been overseas throughout her pro career, played collegiately at USC, and that was a great, really, frankly, recruiting haul to be able to convince Abercrombie after she had won Athletes Unlimited to come play for Orlando.
And it's a great come up for Orlando. They specifically, as we stated, needed that right side, and she's filling it perfectly.
Another big swing from Maddox from the back row.
The Thrill aren't using the big attack as an outlet emergency set. They're using it as an in-system offensive threat. Maddox being able to beat the block, nowhere to be found.
She's been very effective back there. She's found herself maybe some more room while playing in the back row as an offensive player tonight compared to in front. Courtney Schwann was going for the back line, and she just a bit strong on that swing.
Schwann spent her collegiate years at Washington, was Pac-12 Player of the Year, has great vision and range.
One thing Vegas was able to dodge a little bit against Omaha, a lot of service issues, and they really weren't challenging Omaha enough, yet still committing a whole lot of service errors in that match. 4 aces to 14 service errors. Did a lot of other things well, though, in that comeback win. Childress was able to race underneath that ball. Right through the seam with Childress trying to recover. A smart place for the setter to go to Adora Anai.
Great set by Pukas. The block of the thrill was shifted towards the left side. She saw them shift and kicked it out to Adora Anai.
That's where you maybe want to see as Childress makes up for it on that free ball from Willow Johnson on that replay. You want to see that go way up in the air to get Childress some more time to come back in that situation. Although it's tough with the low-hanging video board here. You don't want to put it too far up there. Otherwise, the point's over. That was a nice swing by Abercrombie.
Great work in the back row. Orlando able to find Abercrombie on this big attack. She shifted over. Schwann was then on the right side. They run an X route in the back row, something you usually see in the front row.
Off the block and down. Adora Anai played collegiately at Utah. She's originally from Honolulu, Hawaii.
Utah's first player in school history to record at least 500 kills in 3 straight seasons.
Did DeFalco get there? There was a whistle a little bit late, but the ruling came in from our R1 today, Brianna Spain, that the ball touched the floor. Suzanne Lowry is the R2 in this one.
Up and over that block. Read by DeFalco, but ball was down.
Ace serve. The middle blockers on Orlando are very good servers. Kaz Brown and Natalie Foster both have aces today.
Well-rounded athletes being able to go and earn points at the service line and play a little bit of left back defense.
And another big swing from Brittany Abercrombie, having her way in this one. 11 kills, no errors, 15 swings. That's 733 for the Athletes Unlimited champion last season, Brittany Abercrombie. Timeout, Vegas. The Vegas Thrill will return home for 2 exhilarating matches. We promise you, exhilarating on Friday, January 31st, 7 o'clock. It's Club Volleyball Night. Thrill do such a good job with their local club outreach. T-shirts to the first 500 fans for a whiteout on that one on the 31st. Then February 2nd, 5 p.m., it's Pajama Party with pajama pants for the first 500 fans. Join all the excitement at Lee's Family Forum. For tickets, go to vegasthrill.com. Do you say pajama or pajama?
I say pajama. What do you say?
I've been saying pajama. I don't.
PJs?
Maybe wrong though. I might just be saying that weird.
What are your go-to PJs, AJ?
Not really a PJs guy.
I feel like I saw you with SpongeBob PJs one day.
That's a lie.
Walking into the gym. No? That's how rumors
Walking
get.
into the gym.
Yeah, for serving pass.
I get what you're trying to do.
That's how rumors get started.
Yeah. So Vegas having to throw down an early timeout. The Childress back to serve, down 3. This uniform also has just glass on it for the record. After I was complaining about it yesterday, they need to reprint the Alicia Glass Childress uniform, because last year she went by that, Alicia Glass Childress. She made a decision coming into the season. Of course, her husband, former NBA player and Stanford star Josh Childress, she wants just to go by Alicia Childress this year. That was a pretty good set by Alicia Childress to Hannah Maddox.
Childress setting IQ is second to none. We can talk about all of her accolades, from 3-time national champion to bronze medalist at the Rio Olympics, but it's just consistent every single time, allowing her pins to know exactly where the ball's going to be.
We were talking with the Vegas coaching staff this year. Nice dig, nonchalant by DeFalco right there. Not a good touch by Nye. And we'll hold that thought for a second. Great point by DeFalco in the thrill.
DeFalco, just another casual Sunday fun day, lipping that ball in left back defense. Palms to the sky. Good things happen when you have a ready and early platform.
It's Foster down to the court. My point was going to be on Childress, which was that, you know, last year, even she probably would admit she got a little worn down as the season went along, and she's one of the best setters to ever do it, especially stateside. They said that the Vegas coaching staff said they really found a renewed commitment from their team this year. They wanted to make sure they're on the same page from a strength and conditioning standpoint, and particularly with somebody like Alicia, they felt like that would help. And she's been putting in the time, putting in the work, and they feel like they already noticed the difference with Alicia Childress in terms of her ability, hopefully, to hold up through the wear and tear of a long pro season.
Childress does it all. She's a mom of 3 girls. She is balancing life on and off the court. She has a vlog to help moms in the workforce and fellow athletes as well, and just give, you know, words of advice and be able to have this dialogue and conversation that you can go have a family and then come back and be a professional athlete.
So far this year, in the first 3 matches, she had the PVF record-breaking 72 assist match in the reverse sweep win against Grand Rapids, and then on Friday, 56 more assists and 18 digs in her second double-double of the season against Omaha. There's a chance there for Morgan Stout, by the way, to come in and serve, the 3rd middle on this Vegas team. Former college teammate of Natalie Foster at Wichita State. The middle on the Orlando side, who serves that one into the net.
Still plenty of ball game here. The Thrill want to try and isolate Orlando, get them out of system.
What a swing by Abercrombie. No chance defensively on that one. Brittany Abercrombie has come to play, but it's still a set within range for both of these teams. It's 90s night in Henderson, Nevada. Get the tape cassette out. Welcome back, middle of the second set. 15-12, Orlando on top of Vegas. And I thought Amy Pauley, I mean, she was able to speak it into existence. She said that she's noticed Vegas's block gets stressed when there's a heavy emphasis on opposite and the right side attack. That seems to really bother Vegas the most this year, and they've let Abercrombie really take this match and run with it so far.
They're going to have to prioritize Abercrombie here on the right side. Maybe shift towards the right side with their block and try and slow her down.
Remember some key absences in this one. Pornpun Goodpar, the setter from Thailand, is not available with a minor calf injury for Orlando. Charity Looper, don't believe is available for Vegas for the second straight match with what should be a short-term injury. And of course, not in the active roster right now because she's on short-term injured reserve is Kendall White, the former Penn State star and last year Omaha championship-winning libero. Big swing there from Oblad. Back one, Brown.
Middle on middle action. Brown running all of her routes. She is so dynamic running behind her setter Pukas. Watch as she's able to step close to this ball right on top of her setter. Great arm swing, high and through.
Amy Pauley gushing about how Pukas has taken advantage of the opportunity she's been given, having to, battle for playing time this year once again. It didn't work out in Vegas, coming in behind Alicia Childress last year, now coming in behind Goodpard, but says that Pukas and Goodpard watch film together every single day, that Pukas has really made the most of this opportunity. Had a couple of good sets in a row right there from Pukas as Oblad once again behind the setter converts.
The serve of Orlando wants to try and get the middles of the throw uninvolved. Oblad is so dynamic, but the throw right now have been passing consistent for Oblad to go up and attack.
Yeah, nothing much to complain about for the most part for both teams when you look at their passing numbers in this match. Tip kill, Maddox.
Good read there by Maddox. She was able to identify the block, was a bit dug in on her. The defense of Orlando went with the off-speed shot.
Both teams, by the way, passing over 60% in system right now. Very high number for both teams. Net violation is called.
Childress is aggressive here in the front row, being an offensive threat at the quarterback position, running her offense. She was able to have that vision. It was a low-tempo dig. She didn't really have anywhere else to go, but she sees it quickly, reads the block, shifted on her, and throws it down.
Ramon Hernandez Cruz getting fired up right there, the former Puerto Rico national team program coach, who is still going to contribute to the national team, has coached extensively on the men's side and now coming over back to the women's side to coach in the PVF for the first year. What do you think that adjustment is like? Because you've coached both genders before, Victoria, coming from, obviously he played at a high level, both at Penn State and professionally, and now, again, going back and forth a little bit during his coaching career.
I played at UC Irvine. Did you say Penn State for me?
No, I was talking about Ramon Hernandez Cruz.
I thought you were saying I also coached. Yeah, I coach men and women's volleyball as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, language barrier there with you. But yes, I agree with you. I think it's very exciting that he is meshing both his men's and women's volleyball strategy. We're seeing that with the thrill here, where he's running more of a perimeter defense, try to utilize those block touches in transition, going up against big hitters, and also that big attack in the back row.
An opportunity here for the Valks. Back set to Brown. Now Vegas maybe politely arguing potentially a throw or something like that. Wasn't there. So the kill for Kaz Brown. Only if it's egregious they would call that throw.
Stout tried to get there to close the block. It's not considered a throw if the athlete contacts the ball in front of their hitting shoulder.
Ooh, blistered by Stout, who comes in there for Vegas in the middle. You like her potential coming in as a rookie.
The rookie out of Wichita State shows us exactly what she can do. She is able to get up and beat the block of anybody against her. She led the team at Wichita State in kills, aces, and blocks.
Effective tip by Anai. It's going to give the Valkyries a chance against the flow. Pukas toward Abercrombie. Childress to Maddox. Difficult ball for Maddox to attack, but she got it done.
Good things happen when you swing high and hard. Maddox taking this ball over her right shoulder from behind her head and then swinging high and through. She had no other swing she could do.
Another one of those veteran swings from Maddox now, getting more experience this year. In her second season, Anai able to answer for Orlando.
And that just comes with confidence, real in-game confidence, because you can rep it out all you want at practice and make game scenarios, but until you're in the trenches under the lights, you don't know what's going to happen. Maddox is really showing how much she has improved since last season.
I think the part of her game is that's just a tough set for her to handle. Did a good job actually recycling it, and a diving play by Johnson. Thought that point was over, now it is. Now it is with Abercrombie finishing it off, but even that play right there from Maddox, she still has to work on the serve receive. That's the big thing, but as a hitter, she's finding more ways to keep her team alive in points this year.
And going with confidence, that's half the battle. I'm telling you, your body knows what to do. It involuntarily has taken the hundreds, thousands of reps. So when you're coming out here, just go with confidence, swing away, high and hard.
Timeout taken by Vegas, and that's their final timeout of the set. So it's 20-18 Orlando as that timeout gets used. So let's clean up something that happened 2 nights ago that at the time I was mystified about. So this year, there's a rule change in the PVF. We're going to explain how that factors in. Look at as the ball gets contacted, Cameron Hanna is playing right front. So she's the right front player. She would be the next server when Vegas sided out in that situation against Omaha. This is back from the Omaha match on Friday. But then Loberg went back to serve. Now this year, the rule change is you do not have to be in the right rotation as a serving team. However, you have to have the right server. And so what happened 2 nights ago is that was Hannah's serve, but Loberg served. At the time, I was thinking, why would they call a rotation violation on a serve? That's no longer the rule. Well, it still is the rule if you have the wrong player serving. And that's what happened 2 nights ago.
Right, you still need the same athlete to serve in the rotation. They are designated to serve in, but it could get a little bit confusing because if you're not standing in the spot that you're used to while you're serving, there can be kind of a miscommunication, so you really have to be on top of it.
That's what we were talking with Laura Bird-Kuhn, Omaha head coach, with that she hasn't been a big fan of her team standing out of rotation while serving because she finds that rotation violations become more likely because they lose track of things when you're not moving around on schedule. Coming out of the timeout. Again, no timeouts left in the set for Vegas. Transition chance. Anai is dug by Maddox. Tipped, but Childress read it. DeFalco, bump set to Johnson, uses the block. Right there was Abercrombie. Block touch against Foster, set the gap in the middle of the point for Stout. Abercrombie puts it away. Big time point victory for the Valkyries.
The extended rally due to the block touches on both sides of the net. The first line of defense is doing a really good job of slowing down the ball, utilizing Abercrombie on the right side.
Down the line, Maddox. Well, Amy Pauley was talking about what are you going to do in the red zone. You know, you can talk all you want about the rest of the set, but she thinks that a lot of the times in the PVF it's going to come down to the 20s, and then she wants to see her team have the same approach, be able to replicate it, copy and paste like you might say, once you get into those key points.
Exactly. Once you enter the red zone, minimize the unforced errors, play disciplined defense, go with confidence offensively.
We've seen Orlando get better as these sets have gone along, but does Vegas have one little run in them as Stout with a block, and now Vegas gets within one.
Huge block move by Stout. This crossover step, diving into the seam with that right hand.
And there's Stout living up to her name. Timeout, Orlando. That was your play of the set, brought to you by Toyota. Second stuff block in a row for Stout.
Stout read it like a book, lined up in front of her attacker, and then dug back into the attacker's hard cross court. Textbook block from Stout. Stout at Wichita State recorded 436 blocks over 4 seasons.
Well, we were told by Vegas coaches that, you know, as of right now, Oblad, Van Buskirk, their two middles that they've been rolling with, they're a little more advanced defensively than Stout. They like to bring Stout in, obviously, if somebody is struggling, but also she's more of the offensive-minded player at the moment, but they love her energy. She is developing and just playing her very first professional matches, and we've seen some good things when Stout has been in there.
She's a well-rounded athlete. She gets up in transition. We've seen reads and reacts on defense. Most outstanding player of the American Athletic Conference Championship after leading the Shockers to the title.
Childress digs. DeFalco, good set for Mayfield. Oh, it's going to get down to the court, and Orlando is back in front.
Mayfield read that on her off-blocker defensive move, but maybe read it too well. She overran that ball, wasn't able to control it.
That closes a solid service run from Loberg to, at the time, tie it up. Now Orlando back up by 1. Johnson, right to the middle back of the court and down.
Great pass, allowing Johnson to have this swing on the right side. Notice her lefty arm getting into that ball in the seam of the block.
Murphy takes it. Brittany Abercrombie, look out!
Abercrombie saw that there was a middle playing left back defense. You have to put your helmet on whether you're a libero or a middle blocker, because she is going to come at you. Watches Abercrombie threads the needle down the line. She saw the block of the throw, was inside and took advantage.
Up to 15 kills, hitting over 500. Here she is. DeFalco tracks it down. Johnson has an opportunity.
An out-of-system play in the favor of the Thrill. This is where they needed to find success. Anybody can score when you're feeling good in system, but are you able to make plays out of system? DeFalco keeping the Thrill alive.
DeFalco began her career playing 4 years of beach volleyball at Grand Canyon. Played 1 year indoors in the NCAA for Washington. Tied at 23 in the second. Good job finding the setter. Tip short, that got down, and Vegas has set point on the Mayfield kill.
Mayfield reading that like a book. She sold it because of her double arm lift. She identified it was an out-of-system play. She knew that the defense and the block was going to be closed. And watch as the last second she goes up and over that block.
Oh, overpass, Oblad puts it away, and Vegas evens the matchup. And a couple of players nearly bump into each other. Johnson serving the seam, causing confusion.
The corridor of confusion, that 5-6 seam when both outsides are standing next to each other in serve-receive. Well-executed serve.
The Thrill come back and take the second set 25-23 after Orlando launched a little bit of a comeback in the first set. So you know, those 20s, that red zone sure mattered a lot. In each of these first two sets, we saw comebacks from each team, and Vegas did an outstanding job staying alive in that set. Head coach Ramon Hernandez-Cruz joining us right now with the sets even at 1 apiece. Coach, what did you like most about the way your team responded late in the second set?
We stay composed and we follow the game plan. Great job by Morgan Style coming from the bench.
What are you seeing specifically in serve receive that your team is doing well?
Well, we serve better. We are serving a lot to the libero, and at the end we could serve to number 4 and I as well, and that paid off for us.
I'm going to let you save your voice, Coach. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Coach Ramon Hernandez-Cruz, it's a little bit of he's dealing with a flu game right now, so to speak, for him. I don't think he has the flu, but he's sick, and he's losing his voice, so we'll let him go, and it's all tied up at 1. Well, I had a feeling coming in, Victoria, this one would be close. It would be entertaining. And, you know, I think, frankly, both teams much improved from last year.
I would have to agree with you. I think this is one of Hannah Maddox's best games that she's played ever. She's able to make in-game adjustments. She's passing off the charts right now. She's staying steady in serve receive. She's diving into the seams when she's passing the volleyball. We can take a look at her here as she's attacking. She's getting her feet to the ball in the front row and the back row. Not only are they going to her on out-of-system plays, but they're finding her in the back row with in-system swings. That's why Orlando's trying to put up a triple block around her, but she's identifying that and carving them up high down the sideline. Looking at the stats here, 37 kills to 33. The hitting percentage a little bit higher for Orlando, but the throw was able to take aggressive swings coming out of playing really good scrappy defense. 40 digs on the ball game. DeFalco is playing left back, reading directing traffic as a libero, hustling plays, and they're doing just a really good job of reading and reacting. They really love to give us nail biters here inside Lee's Family Forum. Vegas throw lifts for a good throw.
In line for another one tonight, Abercrombie on the Orlando side. She is still hitting north of 500, 536 with 15 kills on 28 swings. And you know, the numbers on attack attempts, those always tell the story so much. And the opposite for Orlando has the most total attacks for any Valkyrie. Usually it's an outside hitter that has that category lead, but right now it's Abercrombie with 28. All tied up at one set apiece in Lee's Family Forum in Henderson, Nevada. Both teams actually had to come back for their set victories. Vegas did so in the second to even this matchup. The Vegas Thrill would like to thank its official hotel partner, the Ahern Hotel, a luxury hotel with no resort or parking fees. And if you come out to a Vegas Thrill game, you might get a chance to meet Cadence the Catamount.
Cadence loves a good dance floor, knows how to have fun. Representing all the Catamounts that may be tuning in here in the Appalachian Mountains.
Cadence is here for a good time, not a long time.
Synonymous with Bobcats, Panthers, Pumas. They're a part of the same family tree.
They unveiled Cadence as the new Thrill mascot on Friday, so still getting used to Cadence's ways.
Cadence has her own Instagram, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Find that on the Vegas Thrill Instagram.
There you go. All right, everything you need to know about Cadence the Catamount. So through 2 sets, both of them were close. How, if you are Vegas, let's say, how do you do a little bit better against Abercrombie, would be my question.
You have to try and prioritize her defensively. Try and serve Orlando to get them out of system so she doesn't have a one-on-one opportunity. And if they do pass in system, shift to the right side of the court and be okay with not having a closed block on Anai on the left side of the pin. But you have to gamble. You have to read and react, but you can shift on defense towards Abercrombie.
And then for Orlando, Amy Pauley said, we know we're a good serve and pass team. We can count on that as a strength. Why has this good serve and pass team not been able to do more against Vegas's serve receive?
Because Vegas is calm, cool, and collected and also playing a good serve and pass game.
Until there. The first point of the 3rd set, and it's a service ace for Pukas.
I'll take that one. I'll take that bullet for them if and when they watch this back.
Both teams were passing over 60% through the first couple of sets. Typically, that's where Vegas has struggled. Much better today until that point. And Mayfield sides out. It's 1-1.
Great attack by Mayfield. The Kansas alumna getting to the apex of this ball. Childress being able to set it 2 feet inside the antenna, allowing her to hit that seam.
That might have just been in the net there. So it's a point for Anai.
Anai tooling the block of the Thrill.
Did touch the, okay, it was a low swing. I thought it might have just gone into the net, but clearly off the low part of the arms there and then out. So a point for Orlando. Tip toward Anai right there, and a chance once again. Abercrombie pulls the string, and Orlando off to a nice start.
Abercrombie is just so good. She's able to read in real time. If the defense shifts on her, she identifies it, is able to go up and over the block. She's playing the chess game of volleyball at a very high level.
That's kept up, and Abercrombie had a dig. Oh, whoa, almost took Orlando by surprise despite the bad touch. Abercrombie, anytime the ball finds her, you feel like the point's gonna end.
She can do no wrong in this ball game. In transition, she got caught at the net. All you can do is a step close. She went up and over that block.
That's hit hard by Willow Johnson.
Mayfield taking a lot of the passing pressure. She does a really good job of holding her platform, getting that ball to Childress, who's able to give Johnson that one-on-one opportunity.
Now, I mean, you were at practice. You had a chance to go in and see Vegas and Orlando practice. Abercrombie again. What do you make of, for instance, Johnson was back in there again today. Maddox as well as a starter after both got pulled very early, and Vegas was able to win with their bench players against Omaha.
Well, I think it's just knowing your role and knowing that you're a professional and that every day is a new day. So just because you get pulled in one ball game doesn't mean that you can't turn around and start the next. You have to come back into practice, show your coach exactly why and how you earned that starting position, and just keep putting one foot in front of another.
DeFalco, and saved by Johnson. Free ball. Shoved down, made some block contact as well, and Abercrombie stays hot.
With her double arm lift on that lefty swing, notice as she contacts the ball out in front and uses that block, swiping the block with the ball.
I mean, they have more block support over there, and it has not mattered. Goodbye, Brown.
Brown pounding that ball to the ground, running her route so well behind, creates this opportunity off 1 foot. The set was so fast in tempo, block was nowhere to be found.
Lober coming in for Hannah Maddox to try and help Vegas side out. 7-3 early in the set. Good pass by Lober. And there's the side out. Back and forth it went. Finally the put away by Stout.
Stout taking advantage of that overpass from Orlando. Stout just doing her job. Scramble play, threw it down.
Pass by Schwann, now Anai into the triple block. Abercrombie on the D ball. Johnson gets a swing, dug perfectly by Brittany Abercrombie. Faster tempo set to Schwann, and she is a very good passer, stable presence in the back row for them in serve receive, but has struggled, Schwann has a little bit this year to convert enough kills.
Yeah, they try to get her going on the pin. Maybe they'll be able to here this evening, but Anai has also been able to fill that role on the left front attacker role.
And Coach Pauly saying that she loves how much stability they have back there as a passing team, that Anai and Schwann have earned their roles based on the passing ability. But they put Vanderweide in for Schwann in their victory over San Diego because Schwann was just couldn't buy a kill, Coach Pauly, the way she put it the previous match.
Right, and to reiterate again, Schwann allows her team to have these opportunities by playing disciplined defense. Schwann and I actually played in the Bad Boys AVP Open in Seaside together in the beach tournament, and I can definitely attest as having her as my beach partner out on the sand. She's really good at controlling the ball. I was blocking full-time and she was a full-time defender standing at 6'1", but she does do a really great job of reading and reacting.
That's down on the court after the block from Vegas came down in play. And the Thrill back within one.
Coach Hernandez-Cruz said the Thrill needed to earn more blocks, and they went back to the drawing board this last week, and they have absolutely been earning them.
Orlando couldn't keep it up, and this is something Vegas got better at as the Omaha match went along.
Johnson identifying her attacker, lining up and diving back into the seam. It was her left hand that took that ball away.
Childress to Loberg, hit hard.
Loberg has a heavy arm on the outside, played for Wisconsin, earned a national championship in 2021. This outside hitter, even with a locked-in defense, is able to find the floor.
Nice short serve by Alicia Childress. What a response from Abercrombie. She's up over 20 kills. That, in fact, is her 21st, and she's been right around 600.
Her arm is a whip. There is no delay. As soon as she jumps, she is swinging on that ball.
Abercrombie played at USC, where she was a two-time All-Pac-12 performer and a 2017 All-American third-teamer. Last year was in South Korea most recently. Then, of course, won Athletes Unlimited in that individual-based scoring system. And you know, it was interesting, more on Abercrombie's recruiting process, because it was such a great thing for Orlando. They knew they got a score in being able to convince her to come. Amy Pauley said it was a little bit of a package deal because she played in Korea with Pornpun Goodpart, who's out with injury today. They really love playing with each other. They're close friends. And so as soon as they convinced Goodpart to come to Orlando, it was an easier sell for Abercrombie.
They already have that setter-hitter connection. To play in South Korea, that's one of the top leagues in the entire world. Now here stateside in the PVF, very special for that duo.
Thrill have responded to an early deficit in the third set. Now on the service miss, it's tied at 12. There is Pornpun Goodpart, who is known as Shampoo.
Has 6 different titles throughout 6 different leagues across Asia.
She was taking part in warm-ups, didn't look too far away from returning with a calf injury that she suffered in the third set against San Diego. Kill from Mayfield.
No, I would expect to see her back out on the court. She already has 100 assists on the season, averages 10 assists per set, 5-time Thailand League champion.
Abercrombie. Childress was trying to dig it, and it got too far away for Vegas to control. Another Abercrombie put away.
It's so sharp and so fast because she's the lefty on the right side. She's able to contact that ball, have it be quicker so the defense is caught off guard just a bit.
And so now, kind of on the subject there of Schwann's position in the front row, looking to find a little more offensive production, Nora Sis comes in, making her PVF debut. The number 3 overall pick. Takes a swing, and Orlando wins the point. That kill from Foster, but Nora Sis out of Creighton. 3rd overall pick in the first round. And head coach Amy Pauley remarking that she views Nora Sis as their actually most physical left side on the entire roster, just still developing into the pro game. A point for the Valkyries there.
And it's a big jump into the pro game. You can be a big dog at the NCAA level, but the pool gets even that much smaller at the pro level, and the game's that much faster, that much physical. Everybody was an all-conference player or all-American practically across the board. So it takes half a beat longer to get the toes wet here in the PVF.
It's our 15-point timeout. The Thrill down 2. Back in Vegas, tonight's match is brought to you by Clark County Credit Union. Sign up today for a Vegas Thrill debit card. Clark County Credit Union, the official credit union of the Vegas Thrill. Orlando taking a couple of points to go into the timeout, up 15-13. AJ Cannell, Victoria Dennis. And this final match of a 4-match homestand to begin the season for the Thrill. It's actually the end of the longest homestand of the year for the Thrill and the longest road stretch of the year for the Valkyries with their 3rd road match in a row. Interference there over the net for Orlando. And the serve coming from Johnson. Big swing from Foster.
Great work there from the rookie Foster, getting up and being active. She's averaging a batting percentage of .450 on the season already. She continuously is up and available.
Brown. Do not forget about Brown. After all we've seen from Abercrombie in this match so far, Coach Pauly has said that it takes a lot of pressure actually this year off of Brown compared to last year.
Well, Brown was the PVF middle blocker of the year last season, showing us exactly why. She had a heavy load. They always wanted to find her in transition and serve receive, and a balanced offense now allows her to have more one-on-one opportunities.
Timeout called by Vegas, 17-14 Orlando. Welcome back. Tonight's match brought to you by the Southern Nevada Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. Timeout Vegas Thrill. 1-1 in sets. 17-14 in the 3rd set. Best 3 out of 5 here in the 4th match of the season for each team. Both teams 2-1. Brown against Oblad right there. Bucas back sets Abercrombie. Got a little block touch against her. It's kept up. Nor assists. Yes, for the Valkyries.
Finding that seam, it started with the serve though at the end line from Foster. She's serving that 1-6 seam to try and get Oblad out of the play on the Thrill side, but extended the rally and a big put away.
And now it's Foster, one of their best servers, the rookie middle. Mayfield denied.
Abercrombie diving back into that seam. Watch as she pivots her left hip, and her right hip follows all the way around, clamping down on that ball.
Vegas forced to call another timeout at 19-14 after Mayfield gets sent packing right there. And Orlando stepping up as this 3rd set has gone along. The Valkyries coming up with their 5th stuff block. Blocking stuff blocks have been even, both teams with 5 so far.
Both teams reading and reacting, but it starts at the service line why these teams are able to earn the blocks. You've seen them serve area 1. If the setter is in the front row, these teams are attacking area 1 to try and get their middles out of system, because then the setter has to take the ball from off the net and the middle has to run all the way around. That's one of the tactics that these teams have been using.
Don't miss out on all of the fast-paced action. Be sure to purchase your Vegas Thrill season, group, or individual match tickets today. Go to vegasthrill.com. That's on the right side of the antenna right there. And another play by Nora Sis with the overhead dig. Big point for Sis to keep Orlando in it, and the Valkyries expand the lead to 6.
Right place, right time for the off-blocker play. Anai being able to just get good hand-to-ball contact and find hands on that swing.
Gonna mix it up here with a double sub. On the Thrill side, Carly Graham, who has played 2 sets in each match so far as a reserve, usually in this situation. Sometimes as a pure service sub as well. A little condensation on the Orlandos, a little more, Anai says. And she's even just, you know what, I'll just take care of it. I'll just take care of it, thank you. She doesn't want to slip back there. It's an important last stretch here for Orlando to try and close out the set. And they get 1 point closer on the ace by Foster, her second ace of the match.
Great toss by Foster, and her point of contact was through that volleyball. She's tagging that 116.
Second match in a row for Foster with multiple aces. Misconnection with Graham in there for Childress, and Orlando has completely put Vegas in the dust here in the desert.
Foster has a consistent toss contact. She's going with a strong wrist, hitting the ball square. And where she's contacting that ball, it is dropping at a fast rate. That ball might look like it is drifting out, but then the last second it'll drop because she's hitting this ball so flat and square.
Look out in the 15th row of some of these serves right now. Foster having her way. 4 aces for Natalie Foster, the rookie second-round pick out of SMU.
Ranked 3rd in the ACC in hitting percentage, and also set program records in total aces with 64 at SMU.
It was 15-14, and Orlando scores the final 10 points of the set on that hitting error. A 10-0 run to close it out for the Valkyries. And what had been a close match up until this most recent stretch, Orlando changed that with a 10-0 run. End of 3, 2-1 Valkyries. 10-0 run to close out the third set for Orlando. So a 2-1 lead now for the Valkyries. And what a service run by Natalie Foster, the rookie out of SMU. And the overall numbers, Orlando hitting 364 to Vegas's 324. So offense has been widespread on both sides. Orlando's passing up to 70%. Vegas has dropped to 52% after most recent set. Cameron Hanna checking in, came in and performed admirably off the bench. A double-double, 16 kills, 12 digs, and an ace in the reverse sweep victory on Friday over Omaha. First appearance tonight for Hanna. She starts out right front in the fourth set. Childress first set to Maddox. And that is in. Hanna just let it drop. She thought it was going out.
Got to be able to play the close ones. It's hard to tell sometimes with the lighting. And it was coming straight down. Childress just telling her to laugh it off.
It's kind of all you can do.
Yep.
Especially when you just won a national title. Roll shot by Hanna Maddox. Into the block and right back at Cameron. Hanna had a rough entry into this game so far.
Nowhere you can really go with this block in front of you. Hanna jumping into that block.
They figured, you know what? We went on this 10-0 run with Foster serving. Let's just start with Foster serving. And so you can just keep the run going. It's been all on Foster's serve. The final 9 points after the side out of last set came from Foster's serve. And then now a 3-0 start to the fourth set.
And you usually don't see middle blockers starting at the service line, but when your last name is Foster, why not?
You know, they probably throw out the word unstoppable a little bit too often in sports, but right now, Foster as a server is unstoppable. It's 13 straight points on her serve. Timeout Vegas. Welcome back. The Vegas Thrill would like to thank its official media partner, Fox 5 Las Vegas. How does the Thrill side out? It's been the same question now since it was 15-14 in the previous set, and that's, I guess, your answer now. Is a missed serve finally from Foster after that is unreal from her. 13 in a row, bridging the set break on her serve.
I would say that point goes to Coach Hernandez-Cruz for icing the server.
But a great decision from Amy Pauley as well to begin the set with Foster serving.
Right.
And I guess it's kind of an obvious decision after you see a 10-0 run, but normally she wouldn't be starting the set as the server.
Right, exactly. You usually start in rotation 1 with your setter serving. So for her as a middle to come in and start the set, pretty impressive.
They also maximize their rotations the rest of the set with her serving. And Cameron Hanna goes high hands there.
The Thrill need a spark right now on the right side. They have to answer for Orlando having such right side dominance.
Flips the tape. Rattles around, that's gonna be 4 if it got to that point. So Orlando will expand it once again, 6-2.
Well, it ain't over till it's over. We've seen the Thrill come back from being down before. Are they able to earn consistent first ball side outs?
Well, those passing numbers, which have been a strength for so long in this match, have plummeted since the last set. On the slide, it's Oblad.
Oblad up and available. When in doubt, find Oblad running behind, especially with Childress in the front row. So steady off of 1 foot. She's able to use her core to bring her hip and shoulder back around that volleyball.
I wonder how much of it for the Vegas Thrill in these successful comebacks that we've seen, which have been 2 reverse sweeps, how much of it is just that they're fresher than the opposing team when you're bringing in all these different players throughout the game, and typically the other team, in fairness, most teams want that consistency, and even Vegas is striving for that consistency, but when you're putting all these different people in, and you get to the 4th and 5th set, you end up being the fresher team late.
Sure, but you have to be able to find that rhythm with the person next to you. You can bring in bodies off the bench to have fresh arms or fresh legs, but you want to try and find that consistency if you can. Mayfield talking about consistency, scoring another one for the Thrill.
She's hitting above 300, double-figure kills, double-figure digs for Mayfield. All the way across the top of the tape, and it would go for an eye, and the Thrill have bounced back a little bit in this set.
And I tried to find the inside of the block, but ended up walking the dog across the top of the tape.
Pukas with the left arm is capable of that. First time we've seen it today, and she missed it.
I'm shocked that's the first time that we've seen her go up and take a rip on this option opportunity.
Good serve by Oblad. Handled though. Childress had to race to get there. And it's a Mayfield kill.
Nothing but steady is Mayfield, has played all around the world, has put up numbers at Kansas, been playing pro ball now for 9 years, played in France, Switzerland, Finland, Greece, Hungary, Peru with me.
Childress couldn't get to that one, so Mayfield bump sets Hannah. Natalie Foster doing it in front of the attack line as well, along with all those serves.
Foster up in the air, high elbow into that seam. That controlled first ball contact gave her that opportunity.
Off the block and out. Big swing there from Morgan Stout.
Omaha tried to serve that 5-6 seam in between those 2 passers, but it was a great in-system pass, allowing Stout to go Stout off of 1 foot.
I see that as a major difference this year for Vegas, which takes the lead in the set. You know, last year Vegas would get buried like we saw toward the end of set 3 and the beginning of this set, and wouldn't be able to dig themselves out. As you hear from our R1, Brianna Spain, block touch being challenged, but I love some of these responses this year. That is definitely a block touch, so it's going to be an Orlando point, not even a question there. But look at how quickly Vegas flipped the beginning of this set after it looked kind of hopeless after how we saw the 3rd set end.
I think it shows maturity. I think it shows grit. When you have Childress running that offense, she's able to stay calm and collected, bringing rookies in like Hannah and Stout, just directing traffic.
That's one of the things when people, oh, what are you doing moving the R2 behind the scores table? Well, you get a quicker view like that to move the match along because they're more capable of solving those replays quickly. Cameron Hanna, a right side kill.
Hanna, both an outside and opposite, is able to make the adjustment by getting her feet to the ball as a right-handed attacker on the right side. You can't let the ball drift past your shoulder or get too inside. You have to identify the apex of the ball and then get your feet there.
All square at 9 from Mayfield's serve. A good serve by Allison Mayfield.
Veteran serve from Mayfield, serving the front row outside for Omaha. Watches Mayfield puts that pressure low onto that sideline.
Her first ace of the season. That's legal, that's off the floor. Abercrombie swatted back by Stout. No. Little tough in transition. Well, Coach Hernandez-Cruz was taking a look at the R1, trying to state his case, but it'll be a side out for the Valks.
Stout is a worker horse. She's getting up every single time in transition. I expect Childress to continue to find her.
Stout 4 for 7, 1 error so far since checking in. Point for Hanna and the thrill.
Hanna finding the seam in that block, coming off quite the season as a national champion with Penn State. Sees the seam and threads that needle.
Stout to serve. Nice short serve. Pukas to Brittany Abercrombie. Vegas starting to catch on a little bit to Abercrombie.
Maddox pounding her chest. She needed to find a way to stop Abercrombie, and she did. She lined up inside. Saw that she was leaning a little bit with her shoulder and clamped down.
Once again, Stout going short. Here is Sis. That is in play. You can play it off the net. And Brown is rejected.
See ball, grab ball. Hanna getting in front and solidifying that block. A scramble play. Watches Hanna, lines up next to Oblad, dives into that seam.
There's the physicality that they envisioned when they drafted Cameron Hanna. She played outside hitter at college. Coaches were saying, yeah, you know, it's just a different game here at the pro level. So we'll see over time if at some point Hanna can contribute on the outside, but they have a lot of outside options already, and they like the fit right now for Hanna on this roster, at least as a right side.
Right, and I think she's doing a really good job of her defense, and we just saw that on the block. Some of the time, people go up and they just throw hands up to throw hands up on the block. You have to be aggressive. See ball, grab ball. Don't just reach in the air and try to take away space. See the back of your hands while you're getting your hands low across the tape, not reaching up for the ball. That's the difference with Hanna.
It's got to be surreal for players like her, Charity Looper, to a lesser extent after finishing as the runner-up, but it's like you're still in the honeymoon period after winning the national championship, and then all of a sudden you're out of college. You're wearing, I mean, sure, she's finishing up her classes, stuff like that, but they're wearing professional uniforms. Just for all these players that are rookies, what an adjustment, Vic, to go from being on a college campus to all of a sudden probably finishing out your classes, you know, remotely, and wearing a pro jersey. There's Charity Looper over there, injured for today's game.
Looper, runner-up with Louisville at the national championship, but it is they are finishing classes in their second semester of their senior year while playing pro ball. I had to do that in Peru as well. It's quite the balance, I would have to say, but just the physicality of having your body be able to sustain an entire season of NCAA play, not only preseason and then conference, but going all the way through to the national championship game, and then having to start over again in a new season. Rest and recovery is underrated.
slide attempt. Brown into the block. It's in, and Vegas blocks Brown again.
Relentless defense through the thrill. Watch here as DeFalco takes it off the chest, wearing her helmet on this free ball opportunity. Maddox knows they want to find Brown on the slide and does her job.
One last point on the whole NCAA to the pros thing is something Coach Ramon was saying was, like, they also got here all these rookies late in training camp, so everyone was a little bit behind. They came in as a rookie, had less time with the team in training camp, so for somebody like Hannah, it makes sense that it's taking her a few matches to adjust and work her way into the lineup, because it didn't get a chance to practice with the team as earlier as the veterans did. Off the block, stays in play for the thrill to back row set. Mayfield.
Mayfield saying thank you very much to the top of that tape. Sometimes it can be your best friend or worst enemy. Mayfield powering it through there on that back row attack.
This is the 15-point timeout. And the thrill, after falling down early in the set against Foster's serve, with a great response. Timeout on the court. Coming off the timeout, 15-12, Vegas, and it's not just about the stuff blocks. Vegas has 3 stuff blocks within this 4th set, but something they did extremely well against Omaha was they had 27 positive block touches. Huge amount, even for a 5-set match. And so far today, pretty good number as well. 15 positive block touches for Vegas.
And that has been the difference maker from game 1 to now game 4. They needed to utilize those block touches, be a little bit more disciplined, and we're seeing it.
And then Hannah Maddox serve makes it 16-12.
Maddox firing away out of that timeout. The Acer Air mentality. It's her hybrid float. She tries to get a little bit of topspin on top of it, but on that one, she's driving it flat and through.
The Thrill have been trailing 5-1 after going down with a final 10-0 run for Orlando in the previous set, and they've completely flipped this 4th set.
Right, and it's been that service pressure we saw there. It was the miss serve by Maddox, but we talked about that hybrid. She was trying to snap and drive it.
Cover off the block. Turn by Mayfield.
Dig to convert is the Vegas Thrill. A controlled dig from Maddox, playing middle back, allows Mayfield to go up and swing high and away.
And the block touches help you pile up the dig numbers as well.
Yep.
Vegas had a big dig advantage, 83-69 over Omaha, and they're plus 10 in the dig column today overall against Orlando. Tegan DeFalco, another huge day, 20 digs now for DeFalco, their libero.
DeFalco playing both beach and indoor volleyball at GCU, then Washington, was the WAC Libero of the Year. Mayfield firing her team up with another momentum play. Another block for Mayfield.
Now the Thrill, 2 reverse sweep wins this year in 3 matches. This one's not going to be a reverse sweep because they had won a set to make it 1-1. But if they're going to win, it will be another 5th set win if that'll happen. This one looks like it's trending towards going to a 5th set. We will see. Childress makes it 19-14.
Childress throwing it down with that mama strength. She read it like a book, nobody home.
Little tight Pukas gets there, and Abercrombie reminds everyone that she's still here. Should we get to a 5th set, we'll see if she can take over this match once again.
Left fronts for the Thrill have to prioritize win. Abercrombie is in the front row. Get in front of her and dive hard cross. Make her swing high line. You have DeFalco there playing defense.
What do you think is going to decide this match if it stays the course here, gets to a 5th set? What makes the difference?
Can you find production out of your right sides and your middle, specifically in transition?
Hey, another great block touch from Stout. And now here is Hannah poking it off the block.
A solution play for Maddox on this yellow light swing, I like to call it. If you have a green light, go ahead and swing away. But on yellow light swings, out of system, identify that you might not have the rip. And what's your second option? It's being able to go high off the block. You know it's going to be a double block because it's an out of system play. As Mayfield sets this ball all the way across, Maddox identifies the block out in front of her and uses a yellow light swing.
Timeout Orlando. Going back to our conversations this week with Vegas coaching staff leading into this pair of home matches, one of the things they were most adamant about was we have to do a better job of sealing the net, they were saying. And to me, when I hear seal the net, I think more about stuff blocks, but we've really seen it's been more about block touches with their disciplined blocking.
Right, with the first line of defense, meaning the blockers at the net, your job is to take away space at the net so the back row defenders shift and dance around you. When you do that and you happen to earn a block touch, it's then easier for the back row to then read and react off of those block touches. If you happen to get a stuff block in the making of that first line of defense, well then good on you. Here's Mayfield stats through the game, hitting 387, 14 kills, 8 digs, 1 block.
She was really good against Omaha, but efficiency has been even higher tonight.
Mayfield MVP of the Peruvian League when we played against each other in 2018. An expected first ball side out from Orlando. They have Schwann back in the front row playing outside.
Punched through, Stout.
Stout creating opportunity for herself because of her spacing from the ball and from her setter. She doesn't overrun the ball. She isn't jumping too far away, broad jumping. She gets right on top of her setter and still has that space for her arm to swing through.
There's been a lot about the pins this year for Vegas in terms of all the lineup changes, in-match substitutions, but hey, tonight, it's another substitute coming in and making a difference, this time in the middle with Morgan Stout. But this is, I mean, at this point, it's such an obvious theme and a unique theme about this year's Vegas Thrill team that they're just bringing in someone at least off the bench almost every match that is helping them win. Childress turns around, sets Maddox.
The Thrill earning points on second ball opportunities. They're going to have to continue to do that against the defense of Orlando. Can you earn and score in second and third ball opportunities?
Yeah, the unpredictability of this league this year, the Pro Volleyball Federation in year 2 of the league, like usually you watch, and especially in the NCAAs, you kind of have an idea of how things are going to go a lot of the time. I have not had a single idea all night what the next point or the next sequence is going to look like. This match has flipped several times over, and so who knows what that 5th set will look like. That's been the beauty of the PVF, especially I think this year. We've seen even more of that. 23-18, it is Anai trying to use the block, and she does.
Smart swing by Anai. She was catching that ball on her way down, but the veteran she was able to extend that hand-to-ball contact, and she was aiming for high hands and found them.
Just so much talent all over the floor. Anyone can step up at any time, it seems like. Here is the slide for Oblad. It's dug by Georgia Murphy. Oh, not a good touch by the Thrill there. So it's a chance for Anai down the line.
Anai threading the needle high line there, going away from the block of Oblad. They play together at Utah. Great hand to ball from Anai.
Got a bunch of former teammates in this matchup. You mentioned Anai and Oblad. Oregon teammates Johnson and Vanderweide on opposing sides, and James Madison teammates Michaela White and Sophie Davis. Sophie Davis on the Vegas practice squad. White has not played this year so far, but is on the active roster for Orlando. It is a set point for the Thrill to get it to a 5th. And it's in for an ace. No. I got fooled by the near sideline.
Maddox taking the gamble in Vegas and hit the underside there on that out ball.
Got ahead of myself, but Maddox with a miss, 24-21. Bolt 6 always knows. The automatic technology, no line judges. And Shannon Scully comes in for the first time as a serving sub. That is good, and Mayfield brings it to a 5th.
Something we could have expected to see yet again, another 5th set in Lee's Family Forum. Relentless defense by the Thrill, dipping into their bucket on the bench, having rookies come in and make a difference.
Vegas winning the even-numbered set so far. They want to change that in the 5th. I don't think you could complain about much when watching tonight's match, Victoria. I mean, it's been fun. Obviously, kind of a weird 10-0 run out of nowhere to end the third set was probably the worst moment for the Thrill. A little bit of a lapse in quality, but overall, love the quality of play. Both teams are really humming offensively, and that's usually a product of good passing, which the numbers would indicate. Orlando still passing 67%. The idea that Vegas could win 2 matches in a row and the passing numbers from the opposing team in those matches could be in the 60s is not usual.
Not usual at all, and they're able to find those points in the extended rallies. We talked about aggressive serving with purpose, trying to tag the sidelines, tag the seams of the front row, outside and middle back, trying to push your opponents off the tape to work for those block touches and earn points in transition. Mayfield on your screen has been at the helm of that on the night. She has 15 kills, batting .406 with 11 digs. The 9-year veteran has done an astounding job over the last 2 games here.
And normally, if you are in system 67% of the time as a passing unit, and your best player, Brittany Abercrombie, has 28 kills on 520, usually you're dismantling someone. But right now, Hannah Maddox gives the Thrill the lead 1-0 in the 5th set.
That was a big dog swing from Maddox, being able to take a rip. She hit a nine in the off blocker position. That was well in front of the 10-foot line. Maddox hitting .289. Both her and Mayfield are tied now for the Thrill lead with 15 kills. Abercrombie is down for kill number 29 of the night. If you want to try and block Abercrombie, you can't drift in the air. Wherever you are when your feet take off the ground, you have to plant and go straight over the tape, or she's just going to use and abuse those hands flying across the tape. Good pass by Maddox. Hannah Maddox. Murphy got there. Mayfield, good job corralling it. Hannah Maddox. Abercrombie steers it in play. Longest point of the night in the 5th set. Anai, it's down for Adora Anai. Pukas dipping into all offensive threats on the side of the Valkyries. Watch as she finds Anai in transition on this big attack. Really no other options on this play. Anai attacking those high hands. Could be tough to get this in on the correct side of the antenna, but Schwann does it. Oblad is good. Oblad on the gap set, hitting that about 3 to 4 feet away from her setter Childress, drawing the blocker and creating that seam of opportunity. So a couple of matches ago for Orlando, Lekator member Mena of Indy was named PVF Player of the Week after she collected 29 kills in that match. And in this one, Brittany Abercrombie has matched it. A season high for the league, 29 kills. 1 kill away from being the first player with 30 this year. See the Bolt 6 replay. 3-3 in the 5th. I'd expect Maddox to attack the 5-6 seam in between Anai and Schwann. Oblad blocked. Orlando had to find a way to stop Oblad, and Schwann was able to clamp back down on that slide. Watch as Schwann is able to pivot out to the antenna, and it's her right hand that tracks that ball back and inside.
Now, Oblad, a rare moment for her where things didn't go well. She has 10 kills, hitting in the 400s. Maddox gets aced. Abercrombie's had a couple of service runs tonight. Right back toward Maddox, but DeFalco eats up that space, takes it. Big block touch. And a block touch against Schwann. Now it's Mayfield down the line. It's good.
What a dig by DeFalco. Mayfield turning and burning on this transition play. Sprinting back out to the pin for this opportunity high down the line.
Ooh, that was on the paint right there for Mayfield. Brown behind the setter. A miss hit.
A rare miss hit from Brown. Orlando is really heavy right now on their right side with Abercrombie attacking in the back row and Brown probably going to go behind.
A chance for the thrill. Stout rattles around and home for Morgan Stout. A 3-0 thrill run in the 5th set.
Stout taking advantage of an unforced error on the side of Orlando. The miscommunication, Stout feasted on.
Brown bashes it off the top.
And we can expect point-for-point action, especially when Brown and Stout are going head-to-head in the middle right now. Both setters are front row. They want to find their middle blockers.
I think I could picture what Amy Pauley was telling her team in the huddle going into the 5th set. They know, as good as Abercrombie has been, they know who their most efficient option is. It's Kaz Brown, the middle blocker of the year last year. How many times can they get the ball to Kaz Brown in this set? It felt like maybe they got challenged by their coach.
Right, and having such an active right side allows Pukas to find her middles.
That is down on the Orlando side. So Morgan Stout with a middle connection for Vegas, and it's 7 apiece.
Stout led all middle blockers nationally with 3.15 kills per set, ranked second in points, 3.95.
Vegas gets to 8 first. And the teams will switch sides in the 5th.
Very much still anybody's ball game. The throw feeling that momentum as they flip sides. We know that the Vegas fans are very loud, cheering on their home team. Schwann has been consistent for Orlando passing-wise. You've seen her take a lot of the passing pressure for Orlando.
Frill will hit the road for the first time. Coming up, they're going to play at Atlanta on Thursday and then at Orlando a week from today. They got music going on right now as the point starts, so that's going to be a let point. I mean, I get it, Usher, you want to hear more Usher, but on the other hand, this is close in the 5th set. And Anai evens the score 8 apiece.
Calm, cool, and collected is Anai, wearing a smile on her face. On this out-of-system play, watch as she hangs her hand in the air, guiding that ball into that seam.
Anai passing 59% in system with 18 digs and double-figure kills. Hannah, big swing, really bringing that arm back. Cameron Hannah, the first-round pick.
Hannah is no stranger to big-time moments. Childress feels confident within her rookie to feed her the ball. Hannah attacking that high 116.
Here's Anai. Mayfield gets it done.
And it started with Mayfield's serve, applying that pressure into the 116, trying to get their back row attacker, Abercrombie, out of the play, forcing the out of system to the pin. It was a disciplined transition move by Mayfield, and then being able to put it away on that big.
Timeout, Orlando, and both teams have some ways to stop the game at their disposal going forward. Orlando has now 1 timeout left. Vegas has 2 timeouts still remaining, and there are challenges, 2 per side, still remaining in this 5th set as well. So a long ways left to go to get to 15, win by 2 in the 5th set.
Hernandez Cruz saying don't reach press on the block, knowing that Orlando wants to try and find high hands.
Mayfield to serve off the timeout.
And that is a trap play, and it starts at the service line. Mayfield with the service pressure on the front row outside. Adora a 9. Nowhere else for the offense of Orlando to go. Hannah clamps down.
Giving Vegas some physicality on the right side block. Abercrombie through the seam of the block. DeFalco reaches and gets there, and Maddox might have been on the wrong side of the antenna. That is a Bolt 6 call live. That is not on the R1 to make that call. That is a Bolt 6 technology decision with their cameras to sense which side of the antenna that ball goes on. Just like the line calls. So that's just automated right there. Here's a swing from Hannah. Block touch, dig, Schwann. Anai the swing. DeFalco underneath it. Hannah, block touch. Pukas, Abercrombie, wide.
The pressure of Hannah's block forced Abercrombie to swing a bit too wide.
That is Abercrombie's first pure hitting error of the game. 30 kills, a league season high, 491. She'd been blocked twice, but as far as hitting the ball directly out, that was the first time all night. Hannah also misses, and so keeps Orlando alive a little bit.
That rare miss from Abercrombie was forced by Hannah Maddox on the pin. She got really far inside. Abercrombie saw that, caught the underside of the ball.
Pukas up to 60 assists, by the way, for Orlando. 53 for Childress on the Vegas side. Touched over by Hannah. Pukas a chance for number 61. And the buzzer comes in before Abercrombie had a chance. So Vegas will challenge, you would presume, usually in the middle of the point like that, it's going to be a net call 9 times out of 10. We'll hear.
Vegas is challenging that there was a net fault.
And so how crucial is this? Because now, if you do elect a challenge, which Ramon Hernandez Cruz chose to, or maybe was told by a staff member to do so, if you lose that challenge, you lose the point. And Vegas hadn't lost that point yet. However, if they win the challenge, they clinch the point.
Correct, and in addition to that, on the challenge system, in the NCAA, you wait until the play finishes, and then you can challenge something that happened at the beginning of the rally. In the PVF this year, if you see something at the beginning of an extended rally, point is going to go to Orlando.
Challenging for a net touch. You saw the net ripple right there, but no Net touch called. I'd have to go watch that 10 more times to figure that one out, if that was the right call. Here's Maddox. Can they keep it in? They can't. 13-11. Vegas is 2 points away.
Maddox is showing us exactly how she's now earned her starting role for the Thrill. She's taking a heavy passing load. She fought that pass on her outside, brought it back in for an in-system play. Childress fed her.
16 kills. 273 for Maddox. Abercrombie over the block. It's out! Timeout, Orlando, match point, Thrill.
Taking a look here at this last play, Abercrombie trying to reach into that seam. The ball is long. Disciplined defense on the side of the Thrill have earned them this possible match point opportunity.
Allison Mayfield, 17 kills right now, leads the Thrill. She's hitting .389 with 13 digs and passing 63% in system. Maddox at 55% in system, passing with 16 kills and a .273 average. Berkeley Oblad, double-figure kills, hitting .421. Morgan Stout has come in, had 7 kills, 3 stuff blocks, hitting .600. A lot of players out there balling out right now for Vegas. Alicia Childress with 54 assists and 9 digs. The league's leading assist getter coming in. She's going to certainly hold on to that after today. And on the Orlando side, a league season high 30 kills for Abercrombie on .464. Natalie Foster with a 7 for 14 day. By the way, Tegan DeFalco for Vegas, 24 digs. Adora Nye, hitting efficiency a little further down, but 18 digs and passing 56% in system for Orlando. Hannah Pukas against 60 assists and 9 digs. And Orlando fends off a match point.
Good swing by Sis, seeing the block out in front of her.
And look at this, it's Foster back to serve the 10-0 run to close out the third. Maddox, smash down! Game over, Hannah Maddox.
You better swing for the fences on a match point. That's what Maddox does. She has played through the trenches. She has stayed steady for the Thrill. Who else does Childress go to? Mayfield fighting that pass. Childress on her knees. Maddox taking a rip, unleashing on the ball. Watch as Maddox kicks out wide. She identifies that block and swings high and hard.
That was fun.
That was fun, volleyball.
7-1 in Thrill franchise history and 5-set matches and now 3-0 on the season. again in 5, this time over the Orlando Valkyries. Let's take a look at our player of the match, brought to you by the Nevada Army National Guard. It's Tegan DeFalco with 24 digs and 4 assists. We always want to give more love to the libero position, and we get a chance to do that right now with Victoria AJ Tegan now joining us right here post this 5-match victory for the Thrill. Take us inside the emotions in that 5th set.
Oh gosh, I think that the emotion is just like we have to fight. We're not going to give up anything, and no matter what happens, we stick together. I think that that's the biggest thing that we talk about.
Liberos are my favorite position. Defense is heart and attitude, and girl, you do not lack in that department. What is your mindset coming out, and especially when you're down in the trenches, it's hard when momentum's not on your side of the net. So how are you that spark?
The biggest thing I focus on is being that heart and that, like, the motivation no matter what happens. It's my focus to be, like, always, I can't think of the word, but just always motivated to, like, give my heart into the game. Like, if I make an error, I'm focused on being the good energy every single time.
I talk about reading and reacting a lot on defense throughout the duration of the game. What's one piece of advice to aspiring liberos out there about playing disciplined defense?
I think the biggest tip that I can give is just working on eye work and making sure that you're relaxed on ball contact and making sure that you're reacting and just relaxed.
What about coming from the beach like you did? More of your beach background, playing 4 years at Grand Canyon on the beach and then transitioning to the indoor game. What's that been like for you?
Beach volleyball has helped me a lot in indoor. I think a piece of that reading has been a lot attributed to beach volleyball, so I'm just so grateful that I was able to do both.
Well, let me know when you're in the South Bay. We'll hit the sand together.
Yes, please.
Big time performance, Tegan. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys so much.
Our player of the game, once again, Tegan DeFalco, and what an effort from the Vegas Thrill, winning in 5 again. It has been their year in the 5th set, it's fair to say, with a 15-12 final score in the 5th over Orlando. That's going to do it for our entire crew. Victoria Dennis, AJ Cannell saying so long from Lee's Family Forum here in Henderson. Another thrilling win.